Close-up on the sleek, suppressed barrel of an MP7 held by a SEAL. From the silent sting of the MP7 to the devastating power of the MK-17, the lens focuses on the intricate texture of the suppressors. Heat shield. The weapon transitions from a resting position to an active high-ready stance, an operator's hands gripping the heavy tan rail of an MK-17 battle rifle. These are the tools that turn Navy SEALs into the world's deadliest operators. Visual focus remains on the rugged optics and heavy receiver of the MK-17. The operator checks the chamber, showing the brass casing inside, a wide shot of various rifles and carbines laid out on a clean workbench. We start our list with rifles and carbines. The subject focus shifts across the rows of black and tan rifle frames. A slow pan captures the metallic surfaces of the primary mission weapons, the classic wood and steel silhouette of a vintage M14 rifle. MK-14, a real heavy hitter from the old school. Visual focus highlights the long steel barrel and traditional iron sights. The rifle is hoisted onto a shoulder, pointing toward a distant valley, an operator peering through a high-powered scope mounted on an M14. The teams love T-762Bs for reaching out and touching targets. The camera zooms in on the 7.62 caliber markings engraved on the receiver. The operator's finger rests on the trigger in a cold, snowy environment. Dust kicking up behind the M14 as it fires across a long open valley. It is the preferred tool for long-range engagement across open valleys. Visual focus stays on the heavy recoil and the vibration of the wooden stock. Spent casings eject in slow motion into the high mountain grass. The modern, metallic chassis of the M14 EBR variant on the tripod. M14 EBR. Think of this as the classic M14's tactical midlife crisis. Focus is directed at the modular rails and the adjustable aluminum stock. A hand attaches a vertical foregrip to the bottom rail. Close-up on the modernized receiver and rail system of the EBR. It added rails and a modern stock to keep a legendary tool relevant today. The subject focus remains on the blend of old-school action and new furniture. The operator clicks the telescoping stock into a locked position. The iconic long profile of the M16A1 transitioning to the M16A4. M16, a 1, 2, a 4. Whether in the rice paddies or the desert, this is a veteran. Focus on the triangular handguard of the A1 and the rail system of the A4. The weapon is shown, covered in desert, dust, and then wiped clean. From the silent sting to the power of the MK-17, this is the SEAL arsenal. An operator surfacing from dark water with a maritime M16 held high, specifically coated so it won't turn into a rust bucket after a long swim. Visual focus on the water-resistant coating as droplets bead on the metal. The operator shakes the water off the receiver and prepares to fire. The maritime M16 being submerged into a deep saltwater test tank. It's built for Navy SEALs surfacing from clandestine saltwater infiltration. Subject focus is on the specialized internal seals and maritime finish. The weapon is pulled out and immediately cycles a fresh round. An M4A1 being handled in a high-speed urban training environment. M4A1, the quintessential carbine for any elite door kicker. Visual focus captures the 14.5-inch barrel and the EOTech glass. The operator transitions the weapon quickly between multiple silhouettes. Tight shot of an M4A1 muzzle brake as it flashes during a night out. It's modular, reliable, and compact enough for high-speed work. Focus on the accessory-packed handguards, including lasers and lights. The operator clears a fatal funnel doorway with the carbine tucked in. The ultra-short 10.3-inch barrel of the Mark 18 CQBR. Mark 18 CQBR. The king of shipboarding and VBSS missions. Subject focus on the extremely short barrel length. And the suppressor. An operator moves through a narrow ship corridor without snagging walls. The Mark 18 being used to clear a cramped metal ship compartment. Primary choice for clearing cramped compartments without snagging. Visual focus on the compact maneuverability of the short carbine. The operator pivots 180 degrees in a tiny space with ease. The tan, polymer frame and folding stock of the FN-SCAR-L next. FN-SCAR-L, the light version of the SCAR, is all about modularity. Focus on the side-mounted charging handle and the top rail. An operator swaps a barrel length in a matter of seconds. The FN-SCAR-L firing in semi-auto on a long-distance range. Frogman appreciate the smooth recoil and the easy field strip. Visual focus remains on the lack of muzzle flip during rapid fire. The bolt cycles back and forth with smooth mechanical precision. The larger, more imposing 7.62 frame of the FN-SCAR, HFN-SCAR H1. You need more power at a distance. Seals grab the heavy. Subject focus on the larger 20-round magazine and 7.62 caliber bore. The heavy rifle is fired from a prone position, hitting a steel target. Comparison shot between the SCAR-L and the SCAR-H on a bench. It delivers 762 punch without the weight penalty of older rifles. Focus on the shared ergonomic features and identical controls of both. The operator slaps a fresh magazine into the heavy SCAR-H from the silent sting to the power of the MK17. This is the SEAL arsenal. The prestigious HK416 being held by a specialized Tier 1 operator. Up next, HK416. The piston-driven Ferrari of the rifle world. Visual focus on the proprietary gas piston system near the front sight. The weapon is fired rapidly as smoke exits the front of the rail. Thick mud being thrown onto an HK416 during a field reliability test. It's famous for running clean, making it a favorite for Tier 1 units. Subject focus on the reliability of the internal bolt carrier group. The operator pulls the trigger and the weapon fires perfectly through mud. The vintage profile of the CAR-15. An XM177 short carbines. CAR-15. XM177. The shortened grandfather of the modern M4. Visual focus on the retro carry handle. The long flash hider. Vintage black and white footage of the XM177 transitions to color. An operator in tiger stripe camouflage holding an XM177 carbine. These carbines were legendary in the hands of jungle patrolling for. Focus remains on the lightweight nature of the aluminum stocks. The operator moves silently through thick vines and tropical foliage. Close up on the iconic HKM P5N submachine gun receiver. Next on the list is submachine guns, MP5N. A true 9mm masterpiece. Focus on the Navy trigger group with the ambidextrous fire selector. A hand clicks the selector from safe to the auto position. Water dripping off the MP5N as it is pulled from a rubber dive bag. The N stands for Navy, ruggedized for SEAL teams to survive the salt. Visual focus on the corrosion-resistant internal parts of the sub. The operator performs the HK slap on the charging handle to chamber, the incredibly small MP5K being drawn from a hidden shoulder rig. The next one, MP5K. The ultra-short Kurtz model is all about discretion. Visual focus on the vertical foregrip and the lack of a shoulder stock. The weapon is shown being concealed under a civilian-style jacket. An operator in a suit holding the MP5K during a protection drill. They go to for low-profile protective details, where you need subgun power. Focused on the concealability and the high rate of fire of the Kurtz. The operator deploys the weapon from a shoulder sling in a second. The thick, integrated suppressor of the specialized MP5SD. This is the MP5SD. The ultimate ghost gun, with a suppressed barrel. Focus on the rubberized handguard and the ported integral suppressor. The weapon fires, and only the mechanical cycling of the bolt is heard. Smoke drifting out of the MP5SD suppressor after a silent entry. The gold standard for stealthy entries, where only the bolt cycles. Subject focus remains on the specialized subsonic 9mm ammunition. The operator moves into a dark room with the muzzle flash invisible. From the silent sting to the power of the MK17, this is the SEAL arsenal. The HK-MP7 being held like a large offensive pistol by an operator. HK-MP7. A tiny terror that punches way above its weight class. Visual focus on the unique 4.6mm ammunition designed to pierce armor. The operator extends the small stock and flips up the iron sights. The MP7 armor-piercing rounds, shredding a heavy ballistic plate. designed to pierce body armor, while being as easy to carry as a pistol. Focus remains on the high-velocity, needle-like 4.6mm rounds. Spent tiny casings pile up rapidly during a sustained burst. The rustic stamped steel appearance of the M3A1 grease gun. M3A1 grease gun, an ugly stamped steel workhorse that just wouldn't quit. Focus on the simple wire stock and the heavy .45 caliber bolt assembly. An operator cleans the simple mechanism with a basic shop cloth. A suppressed M3A1 grease gun being used in a jungle training clip. Teams kept these for years because they were incredibly easy to keep silent. Visual focus on the slow, chugging rate of fire that aids suppression. The operator fires a rhythmic thump 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 into a wood target. A transition to the handgun category, starting with the SNW Hush Puppy. Moving on to pistols. SNW Hush Puppy. Visual focus on the slide lock lever on the side of the pistol frame. A hand moves the lever to lock the slide, preventing mechanical noise. The Hush Puppy, firing a single round with zero mechanical noise. Built for one job, taking out sentry dogs. The slide lock ensures silence. Focus on the long, specialized suppressor attached to the 9mm barrel. A spent shell is manually ejected by the operator after the shot. The massive, blocky frame of the HK SOCOM Mark 23 pistol. HK SOCOM. This HK is basically a crew-served pistol. It's massive. Visual focus on the laser aiming module. Lamp attached to the rail. An operator with large gloves grips the oversized frame firmly. The HK SOCOM firing a heavy .45 ACP round with match accuracy, designed to be used as a primary offensive weapon in the 90s. Focus remains on the threaded barrel and the high-profile sights. The weapon stays perfectly level as the heavy steel slide cycles. The smaller, sleek polymer frame of the HK-45 Compact. HK-45 Compact. A more manageable 45 for the modern era. Subject focus on the ergonomic grip and the slimmer frame profile. The pistol is drawn from a concealment holster smoothly. The Sig Sauer P226 being holstered in a specialized maritime rig. Sig Sauer P226. The gold standard sidearm for the teams for decades. Focus on the decocking lever and the classic metal Sig frame. An operator emerges from a swamp, drawing the Sig and firing. From the silent sting to the power of the MK-17, this is the SEAL arsenal. The tiny Glock 26 resting in the palm of a hand for scale. Glock 26 is known as the baby Glock. This 9mm is perfect for deep cover. Visual focus on the short grip and the double stack magazine. The operator hides the small pistol in an ankle concealment holster. The Glock 19 being drawn quickly from an operator's waistband. Next, Glock 19. The unofficial favorite of operators everywhere. Focus on the balance between compact size and 15-round capacity. The operator performs a fast magazine reload under high pressure. The full-size Glock 17 covered in sand and saltwater residue. Glock 17. Full-sized and ready for duty. It's a rugged workhorse. Subject focus remains on the polymer frame and the 17-round mag. The operator fires the Glock 17 until it locks back with zero jams. The Beretta M9 with its signature open slide design and hammer. Beretta M9, the long-time standard sidearm for the entire military. Visual focus on the safety. The cocker on the slide and the hammer. A side-by-side view shows the M9 next to specialized frogman gear. The Sig Sauer P228 being examined for its concealable dimensions. Sig Sauer P228. This model cousin of the 226. For specialized work, focus on the compact slide and the MO and military serial markings. The operator fits the P228 into a small, discreet shoulder holster. The modular Sig Sauer P320 being disassembled into its core parts. Sig Sauer P320, the new kid. Its modular design allows grip swaps. Visual focus on the removable fire control unit chassis. The internal chassis is moved from a tan frame to a black frame. The classic steel frame and hammer of the Colt M1911A1. Colt M1911A1. A century of service and still kicking. Subject focus on the beaver tail's safety and the large .45 caliber bore. An old school operator thumb flicks the safety down and fires. The high standard HDM with its long, round, integral suppressor. High standard HDM. This suppressed 22 is a ghost from the Cold War. Focus on the integrated suppressor that covers the entire barrel. The weapon fires with a sound no louder than a muffled handclap. The strange, futuristic Mark I underwater defense gun and its rounds. Mark I underwater defense gun. This specialized tool fires steel needles. Visual focus on the cylinder holding the long, needle-like projectiles. A diver fires the weapon underwater, showing the needle's straight path. Transition to sniper rifles, starting with the KACSR 25 system. Sniper and precision rifles. KACSR-25. A favorite for Overwatch. Subject focus on the large 7.62 magazine and the long Leupold optic. The sniper keeps his cheek on the stock while firing multiple shots. From the silent sting to the power of the MK17, this is the SEAL arsenal. The Mark 12 SPR rifle with its bipod deployed on a roof. Mark 12 SPR was built to give marksmen more reach than a carbine. Visual focus on the heavy barrel and the specialized suppressor. The operator fires from a rooftop, providing cover for an assault team. The heavy bolt action of the Mark 13 sniper rifle being cycled. Mark 13 chambered and 300 Win Mag. This bolt gun is for serious business. Focus remains on the large 300 Winchester Magnum cartridge. The sniper pulls the bolt back and a large brass casing flies out. The massive Macmillan TAC-50. Anti-material rifle on a heavy tripod. Macmillan TAC-50. This 50 caliber monster touches targets a mile away. Subject focus on the giant muzzle brake at the end of the barrel. The shockwave from the shot ripples through the surrounding dust. The Mark 20 SSR support rifle in a flat, dark earth finish. Mark 20 SSR, the sniper support variant of the SCAR platform. Visual focus on the extended receiver and the match-grade trigger. The sniper transitions between two targets at medium-long range. The Barrett MRAD, with its modular interchangeable barrel system. Barrett MRAD, multi-role sniper system. Operators can swap calibers. Focus on the folding stock and the monolithic aluminum rail. The operator uses a wrench to quickly secure a new caliber barrel. The iconic semi-auto Barrett M82 M107 firing a .5 OBMG round. Barrett M82 M107. The legendary Light 50. Its 4 turning engines to scrap. Subject focus on the recoiling barrel and the massive magazine. The rifle fires and a vehicle engine block is shattered on the range. The sleek M110 SAS precision rifle in a desert camouflage. M110 SAS. It offers high-volume precision fire for moving elements. Visual focus on the ambidextrous controls and the long suppressor. The operator follows a moving target through the hip-outward scope. The Macmillan TAC-338 being held steady on a sandbag rest. Macmillan TAC-338. It bridges the gap between 762 and the 50 cal. Subject focus on the devastating .338 Lapua. Magnum round. The shooter exhales slowly and pulls the trigger, hitting a far target. Transition to machine guns, starting with the modular Stoner 63. Moving on to machine guns. Stoner 63, a legendary modular system. Focus on the top-mounted magazine and the belt feed attachment. A montage shows the weapon being converted from rifle to machine gun. The heavy M60 Pig machine gun being carried through brush. M60, affectionately known as the Pig. It provided a massive wall of fire. Visual focused on the bipod and the 7.62 belt hanging from the side. The machine gunner lets out a long, sustained burst of fire. From the silent sting to the power of the MK17. This is the SEAL arsenal. The shortened, modernized M60E4 variant held by a gunner. M60 E4. A modernized Pig. It's lighter and easier to hump through jungles. Subject focus remains on the forward grip and the shorter barrel. The operator fires the weapon from the hip while moving forward. The Mark 46 lightweight machine gun and its belt-fed action. Mark 46, a specialized machine gun built just for special operations. Visual focus on the Picatinny rails and the slotted heat shield. The operator runs with the weapon, showing its lightweight nature. The Mark 48 being fed with heavy 7.62 linked ammunition. Mark 48, the big brother. It brings the heavy 762 into a portable frame. Subject focus on the larger receiver compared to the Mark 46. The gunner suppresses an entire tree line with sustained heavy fire. The M249 SAW being reloaded with a hard plastic ammo drum. M249 SAW. The squad automatic weapon is all about volume. Visual focus on the ability to use standard M16 magazines as backup. The operator snaps an emergency magazine into the side port. The M240 machine gun mounted on a fast Mark V assault boat. This is the M240. Legendary for reliability. It's the big stick on boats. Subject focus on the spade grips and the heavy-duty swivel mount. The weapon fires into the water, creating massive white splashes. The massive M2.50 caliber Madus on a vehicle mount. M250 calorías. She's been shredding enemy armor since World War II. Visual focus on the giant .50 caliber belt and the butterfly trigger. The heavy gun thumps rhythmically, vibrating the entire vehicle. The M134 minigun spinning its 6 barrels into a blur. M134 minigun. A 6-barreled monster that sounds like a giant zipper. Subject focus on the electric motor and the blurring steel barrels. A stream of tracers pours out of the gun, lighting up the night. Transition to shotguns, starting with the bottom ejecting Ithaca 37. Shotguns. Ithaca 37, a classic jungle gun that ejects from the bottom. Visual focus on the bottom ejection port where shells fall out. The operator pumps the shotgun and the shells drop into the mud. The Remington 870 with a specialized breacher muzzle brake. Remington 870, the gold standard, whether breaching a door or clearing. Subject focus on the pistol grip and the short entry barrel. The operator blasts a door hinge off and the door swings open. The Remington 7188 shotgun firing at a rapid full auto pace. Remington 7188, a rare full auto shotgun that's pure close quarters chaos. Visual focus on the selector switch and the rapid shell ejection. A magazine of buckshot is emptied in less than a single second. From the silent sting to the power of the MK17. This is the SEAL arsenal. The rugged Mossberg 590A1 pump-action shotgun on a rack. Mossberg 500 590A1. Built to military specs and ready for abuse. Subject focus on the metal trigger guard and the heavy-walled barrel. The shotgun is submerged in sand, then picked up and fired. The Benelli M4 semi-auto shotgun being fired rapidly on a range. Benelli M4, the semi-auto choice. Its unique gas system is fast. Visual focus on the Argo twin-piston gas system under the rail. The operator puts 4 shells into 4 targets in 2 seconds. The vintage Thumper M79 grenade launcher being loaded. Grenade and rocket launchers. M79, known as the Thumper. Subject focus on the brake action opening and the wide 40mm bore. The launcher makes a distinct bloop sound as it fires around. An M203 grenade launcher attached to the bottom of an M4 carbine. M203, the classic underbarrel launcher. It turns a rifle into a dual threat. Visual focus on the sliding barrel mechanism of the launcher. The operator slides the launcher forward to load a 40mm grenade. The standalone M320 grenade launcher with its side-loading breech. M320, a modern, versatile launcher. It features a side-loading breech. Subject focus on the breech swinging out to the side for the reload. The operator reloads a fresh round while keeping the carbine named the Mark 19 automatic grenade launcher firing from a tripod. Mark 19, an automatic grenade launcher that is pure devastation. Visual focus on the large linked 40mm belts feeding into the side. The launcher thumps repeatedly, and distant targets explode in sequence. The M72 Law rocket being extended and locked for immediate use. M72 Lore. A lightweight disposable rocket that packs a punch. Subject focused on the telescoping tube in the flip-up plastic sights. The operator collapses the empty tube after firing the single shot. The AT, for anti-tank rocket, being leveled by an operator on a hill. At Quattro, this 84mm rocket is a serious armor breaker for bunkers. Visual focus on the large diameter of the olive drab launch tube. A backblast of dust clears as the rocket streaks toward a tank. The Carl Gustaf recoilless rifle being loaded by a two-man team. Carl Gustaf, the ultimate reusable tool. It fires anti-tank Dosmo. Subject focused on the rifled bore in the Venturi lock at the back. Two operators work together to reload and fire the heavy weapon. The SOG Seal Knife, 2000 being unsheathed from a Kydex scabbard. Edged weapons, SOG. Seal Knife 2000, built for extreme salt water. Visual focus on the serrated edge and the black powder-coated blade. The knife is used to cut through a thick maritime rope with ease. From the silent sting to the power of the MK7, the mission is complete. An explosive cutting charge being slapped onto a thick steel plate. When a door won't open, these charges are the answer ready to work. Subject focus on the focused energy of the shaped charge blast. A bright flash occurs, and the screen fades to a black finish.